Today is September the 14th, 2021, and Sony has announced tomorrow they are launching the new September update that enables the M.2 slot in our PlayStation 5s. We have been waiting for this day for a very long time, to say the least, because with an 825 gigabyte hard drive, after the operating system was installed, we had 667 gigabytes to work with. And with some games like Call of Duty being over 200 gigabytes, that left us with just a couple of games to install. I was not a part of the beta, so what I did was I prepared for this day well in advance, because just like the PlayStation 5s are hard to find to buy, I figured that the M.2 PCI 4.0 drives would be hard to find once the system update drops tomorrow. So well in advance, I took all of my games that I did not play to GameStop, traded them in, and ordered a Western Digital SN850 M.2 2280 1 terabyte hard drive that easily met the specifications that Sony wanted in order for you to install it into the PlayStation 5. Because I figured once the update drops, they will be selling like hotcakes, and they'll be out of stock and very hard to find. So what I'm showing you here in this video is first me unboxing the hard drive. And of course, the solid state drives these days, the NVMe drives, they almost look like a memory stick from yesteryear. As you can see, I'm now unpackaging the heatsink, which Sony recommends so it can dissipate the heat, absorb the heat from the hard drive onto the heatsink and make it 10 to 30 degrees cooler. And let's face it, guys, heat is what kills electronics. So the cooler we can get this drive to run, the longer it's going to last, and the faster it will probably work too in loading games. It will run at what it's designed to, its optimal performance. Right here I'm taking double-sided compound. It's a special kind of adhesive tape, if you will, and it's double-sided. You're going to put this over the IC, the internal chips, and you're going to press it on. And then I've tucked the bottom off the other side, and I've attached it to the bottom of the hard drive, and press this on all the way. Make sure you do it smoothly and not too hard. You're going to want these to make very good contact with the bottom of the hard drive and the top of the IC chips. Now this heatsink that I bought, and I will include links, product links in my video description box of where you can buy these. It shows you in the instruction manual and on the back that it is pointing, the connector to the drive will be pointing to the left. So the notch where you're going to be mounting and screwing the hard drive into the PlayStation 5 is going to be on the right. You will see how there's a notch out where that little stand is going to fit in, like right in here. And you can see that there's a notch at the end of this heatsink. And that's exactly what that's for. That's where that stand is going to fit when I install it into the PlayStation 5. And you can see that the adhesive compound tape, the thermal compound tape, covers the internal chips and the bottom of the hard drive. Next, I want to show you the heatsink, as on each side there's going to be 3 screw holes that holds this together. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, and on the other side there's also 3 as well. I'm going to take the heatsink off because it's in 2 pieces. Now I'm going to take the other side of the adhesive compound tape off, and so it's going to be sticky now, and I'm going to line the hard drive up with the other side where it's flush. The top is flush and the bottom will be sticking out about a centimeter like you see in the video. And then I'm going to push down so that it can stick to the metal surface below on the heatsink. The next thing you're going to want to do is to take the film off the top of the top piece of thermal compound tape, and then you're going to want to slide on the top part of the heatsink. You're going to want to see that the notch where the stand goes is to the right, and that it matches up with the bottom, and that it fits right into place. And then once you put that on, you're going to want to push down on it evenly so that it sticks to the top of that adhesive thermal compound tape. And then you will see that the holes have now lined up on each side of the heatsink where you can put in the screws. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to open up the screws that came with the heatsink, and it even came with a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, to install this. Now, as I get ready to put the screws in, I am slightly pushing down and pushing the heatsink together so that it's going to fit nice and snug as I tighten them together, because I want that thermal compound tape to be touching the internal chips and the other double side to be touching the metal of the heatsink so that it can get a good contact and connection and really absorb and dissipate that heat and move it away from the hard drive. And that will make the hard drive last a lot longer. And that's just an extra tip that I'm giving you that I do personally. So there are 6 screws. There's 3 on each side, and they actually give you 1 extra in case you lost one. So here's the other side, and again I'm holding down the heatsink on this side too, so that that thermal compound can make a better connection, and it's going to dissipate that heat better, meaning absorb it and pull it onto the heatsink and away from the chips of the hard drive itself. And going for the 6th and final screw, and I'm just going to put that on there and tighten it down. No problem. And I'm going to make sure that they're tightened just one last time. Double check it out. And I also got a pretty good deal on this heatsink. I made sure that the dimensions fit in the PlayStation 5, and I paid about $15 for it. And this is what it looks like when it's ready to go. So as of right now, I'm ready, guys. I'm ready for the September update. Finally, I will be able to fit the games that I want and that I play onto my system.